favorite memory. What's your favorite Star Wars memory that we have? Is there a point in your life where Star Wars had a major impact on you? So, David, let's start with you here.
I mean, there are two big Star Wars things that pop out in my mind. And, one is, of course, when you asked me to join this podcast. So I guess that'd be a pretty big thing that Star Wars
sweet.
got me into.
That was really sweet.
But I remember being in third grade and hanging out with Tom Hastings and Bobby West in the little reading corner of Mrs. Darbachek's class. And they were huge Star Wars junkies, and they started sucking me in too. And they would read books. Like I remember one that we'd read and talk about was, I think also called Hand of the Emperor or something.
Hair of the Empire?
No, it was
Hand of the Empire.
Darth Vader's glove.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Is that the name of the book?
I know which one you're talking about. I actually still have
I've got
it
a computer
somewhere.
right in front of me.
Something about claiming the glove and
The Gauntlet? Is that what it's called?
It's called Darth Vader's Glove, 1992.
Okay, cool.
Reading and talking about that book, and we had the Star Wars encyclopedia and going through and looking at the spaceships and the droids, and I don't know, it's just very good entertainment and helped me get into reading when I was a kid.
I really loved the young reader series Jedi Apprentice. There were like 16 or 17 of these books, and then they had like I don't want to call them big event books because I don't think they were, but like they were like larger books that were significant, but then you had filling in the gaps of the 16 stretch, and it was so good. And you got all this young concept rendering of like young Obi-Wan and young Anakin and Qui-Gon training, and it was just a really fun series. I love that. What was the most critical moment in your Star Wars history? Had the most impact on you? Just the best Star Wars moment in your life, Jesse. Tell us.
favorite moment for me, and most of it think, the first time seeing it. No, the favorite moment for me was when they did the special edition cut in like the 90s, and those were in the theater. My mom let me skip school for each one of those. And so I'm seeing this during the daytime, like when everybody else is working or in school. And in particular, I got to see Empire. And it was just my mom, my younger brother, and me, and my grandma. We had the whole theater to ourselves. It was fantastic. And just that opening moment on, Empire was just really powerful. I'd say at the point in life Star Wars really impacted me was... family was just going through a rough period to patch. Loss of loved ones, some just bad surgery for my mom, a lot of complications and everything. And I hit kind of a bottom depression point. And that's when I started working on my cosplay, my Mandalorian cosplay. And it was a way for me to just kind of vent that and everything. And then the lore and everything, the EU lore of like the color meanings on Mandalorian armor, that's all built into my costume and whatnot. But I finished the helmet first and everything, and that was probably
to kind of like give it your place to kind of like escape.
Yeah, it was an escape, and and then it really hit me a couple days before I went to PAX South, because I had finally completed version 1.
So like you kind of like had like a transformation.
And it was just like.
I feel like a really crappy friend because I did not know this story.
Yeah, it's a really crazy, just time period in my life. But I mean, just that conclusion and being able to go and show off this recently discovered talent that I never knew that I had. I had no experience with cosplay or anything when I built this costume.
I love that.
So it's just and seeing what it does for people when I'm at the cons, it's life changing.
Dude,
you see me in the armor, but I see a T-visor and the reactions of the kids from that perspective, and it's a whole different ball game.
That is so cool. Thanks for sharing that story. I feel like a bad friend for not knowing, but kudos to you, man. That's awesome.
David, try to top that story.
Oh, yeah, I can't. I just think for me, I love going and seeing the movies with you guys. Like we got to see The Last Jedi together in the same theater. But for me, it's really with my dad, getting to watch that. A New Hope for the first time. My mom had a work meeting that day, and he's like, listen, you cannot tell your mother what we're about to do. And for some people, it's like their dad showing them like a dirty magazine, but my dad was opening me up to the Star Wars galaxy.
He's got it in a shoebox.
Which might have honestly been worse
under the
depending
bed
on
or
who you
something.
ask in my life. It's become quite a bit of an obsession. And then the fact that for as long as we can, hopefully, Dad and I get to keep going back and seeing the next movie. It was really special to go see Phantom Menace in the theater with my dad because we've just been watching Star Wars on the small screen our whole lives, and then you know, you just see that opening sequence and like the droid battle with the Gungans. Like it still was like, I just remember being a kid being like, wow, like this is what you can do with storytelling now. And then like we went back and watched Rogue One, loved it. We saw Last Jedi when I feel bad sharing the story, but like Luke dies and my dad just yells, "That's BS!" And there's a small
in the middle of the IMAX.
Yes, there's like 30 people. There's a small child there. Mom's covering the kid's ears. That part.
That
didn't
shock
happen.
of horror.
I heard the people behind us were
gasp.
laughing. You know, like my dad had to be like that older guy in the theater going, "Oh my Luke Skywalker," you know. But no, it was just fun to have that memory, and I hope to be able to go.
boy.
That was at the Science Center, right? In the IMAX, so like the great big dome.
No, that was at the Ronnie's.
Was it Ronnie's?
That was Ronnie's in St. Louis. Yeah, crazy stuff.
Thank you for watching Beyond the Blast Doors. Be sure to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget, give us a thumbs up and leave a comment. Beyond the Blast Doors, a Star Wars conversation.